Alright, today I've got a short passage I'll go ahead and read through first. I have a habit of drinking a cup of coffee each morning. I usually make myself it at home, but I couldn't make it this morning because I have been on a business trip since yesterday. So I got canned coffee instead. Alright, so just this one's pretty good, just a couple minor errors. I have a habit of drinking a cup of coffee each morning. Perfect. You can also say every morning. Every morning would probably be the more common that people would say. Um, but when writing, they'd probably use well, every would probably be used more in writing too. But each morning works perfectly fine as well. It actually kind of sounds a little bit more fancy. Um, whoops, that one's perfect. I usually make myself it at home, but I couldn't make it this morning because I've been on a business trip since yesterday. All right, so um, we've got one error I think is all. I usually make it myself. So right after the verb, um, so let's see. With make, you're gonna usually say what you make right after it. Um, so I make cake every day, or I make cookies on the weekends, or I make a lot of money. You know, you're gonna add what you make right after make. So since you're talking about it, which is coffee, since it's mentioned in the previous sentence, we're using the pronoun it here. Um, so rather than you making yourself, um, that means you created yourself, which doesn't make any sense. Um, so I usually make it myself at home. That's perfect. But I couldn't make it this morning. Oh, so you got it here. You got it right here. But I couldn't make it this morning because I've been on a business trip. Let me redden that for you. Business trip since yesterday. Perfect. That's your only error there. So I got a canned coffee instead. So this, when I hear canned coffee, I think of like a can of coffee grounds. Um, so like if you said, "Oh, I've got some canned coffee at home," that would sound like to me that you've got some coffee grounds or instant coffee mix that you mix with water. Um, and that's what that would sound like to me. So if you said like I got a bottle of coffee instead, if it wasn't a can, then keep the canned. But I would say something like, "So I got a pre-made coffee instead," or so I if it was a specific company that you got, like a can of Starbucks coffee, so I got a Starbucks coffee instead. Um, but I would just change this um, because we're not really interested if it's in a can, right? That's not really interesting. What we're interested in is what kind of coffee you actually got. So I got pre-made coffee instead. I think that needs a hyphen, right? Hmm. I don't. Yeah, I think it does get a hyphen. I think that's just an error. Um. So I got pre-made coffee instead. And that would work fine. Um, or any of those other options. Hmm. So yeah. Um, unless maybe you meant canned instant coffee, like the mix that you put with water. In that case, I would just say, "So I got instant coffee instead." Um, yeah, but that's probably the best bet. If it was just a bottle of pre-made or a can of pre-made coffee, I'd say pre-made. All right, well that's it for the video. I'll go ahead and leave you a couple notes, and thanks for watching. And I hope I was able to help you out.